So here we have a really interesting equation. X plus 5 is equal to x minus 5. And before we dive into the nuts and bolts of solving this, I would be super grateful if you could just take a second to tap that like button and subscribe to the channel, because your support is what keeps these lessons going for everyone. Now, at a first glance, this problem looks innocent enough, like something you could solve in your sleep, but it is actually a classic example of a mathematical contradiction that can really mess with your head if you're not paying close attention to what the numbers are telling you. We are going to explore this using two distinct approaches, where the first one is the long, scenic route, using heavy algebra to see where the math leads us, and the second one is a quick, logical check that reveals the truth almost instantly. Let's start with the long way, because it is really good practice for your algebraic manipulation skills. So imagine we want to manipulate this equation to solve for x. And maybe we decide to square both sides to see if we can shake things up. So on the left-hand side, we take the entire expression, x plus 5, and we square it. And on the right-hand side, we do the exact same thing to x minus 5, putting it in brackets and squaring it. Now we have the quantity x plus 5 squared equals the quantity x minus 5 squared. And to expand this out, we need to use our perfect square formulas, which you might remember from class. When you square a binomial like a plus b, the result is always the first term squared plus 2 times the product of the two terms plus the second term squared. So applying that rule to our left side, we get x squared plus 2 times x times 5 plus 5 squared. Now for the right side, where we have a minus sign, the formula is almost the same, but the middle term is subtracted. So we get x squared minus 2 times x times 5 plus 5 squared. Let's take a moment to clean that up and do the multiplication. So on the left, 2 times 5 is 10. Giving us x squared plus 10x plus 25, since 5 squared is 25. On the right side, we have x squared minus 10x plus 25. So now our equation has transformed into x squared plus 10x plus 25 equals x squared minus 10x plus 25. This looks like a monster, but watch how beautifully it cleans up when we start moving things around. Notice that we have a positive x squared on the exact same position on both sides. So if we subtract x squared from the left and the right, they completely destroy each other and vanish. Next, look at the constant numbers. We have a positive 25 on both sides as well. So if we subtract 25 from both sides, those also disappear into thin air. Now look at what is left over, because this is the crucial part. We're left with positive 10x on the left equals negative 10x on the right. This is the point where many students get confused and think the answer is impossible, but let's keep going algebraically. We want to group our x terms together, so let's add 10x to both sides to move that negative term over. When you do that, you get 10x plus another 10x, which makes 20x, is equal to 0. Now, if 20 times some mystery number x is 0, then the only possible value for x has to be 0, right? So we have algebraically found a value x equals 0. But wait a minute, we're not done, because in math, you can't just trust the algebra blindly. You have to verify it, especially when you square things, because squaring can introduce what we call phantom solutions or extraneous roots. So let's take this value of 0 and feed it back into our original simple equation at the very top. On the left side, if we replace x with 0, we get 0 plus 5, which is just 5. On the right side, if we replace x with 0, we get 0 minus 5, which is negative 5. So the equation is claiming that positive 5 is equal to negative 5. Is that true? Absolutely not. If you have $5, that is definitely not the same situation as owing someone $5. Since 5 does not equal negative 5, this proves that our calculated answer of 0 is actually a fake solution. It popped up only because we squared the equation earlier, but it doesn't work in reality. Now, this brings us to the second method, which is the logic check. And honestly, this is the way you should think about it on a test. Go back to x plus 5 equals x minus 5. If we try to isolate x by subtracting x from both sides, look at what happens immediately. The x on the left cancels the x on the right, and you're instantly left with the statement 5 equals negative 5. We stripped away the variable and exposed the naked contradiction right at the start. This statement is false because a positive number can never equal its negative counterpart unless the number is 0, which 5 is not. Geometrically, think about it this way. X is a spot on a number line. The left side says go 5 steps forward, and the right side says go 5 steps backward. Is it possible to end up in the same spot by walking in opposite directions from the same starting point? No, it is impossible. Therefore, we can confidently say there is no solution to this equation, and the solution set is the null set. It is a trick question designed to test your logic, so always check your answers. Thank you so much for sticking around for this explanation, and please make sure to smash that like button and subscribe if you want to see more math debunked. And if you have a different way you thought about this, let me know in the comments below.